Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss Pre-Market Report for Wednesday, February 14th, 2018. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. I'm Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. We've just seen a very sharp sell-off here in the last 15 to 20 minutes after core CPI came out. After the data was released, we saw a major move back below the previous session's high, and it led to an outside day here. So really, price continuing to trade between the 2636 level and that 2680 level. That zone right there has been in play over the last 3 days, and we really haven't seen much movement outside of that range. This is very similar to what I mentioned before when price sold off so heavily here. I mentioned that price may compartmentalize inside that range somewhere. I thought maybe within the middle 50% of that range, but it happened to be in the lower 50. And now, after this recent impulse move, we've seen a further compartmentalization of this price range where price is now trading within a smaller zone. So after price trades in this little area for a while, we may see the move to the next area. And so again, I mentioned before that any push up here above 2700 may be another opportunity to fade it back down and perhaps retest these lows at some point. So we'll continue to watch this zone very closely. You can see right here, we had a major increase of volatility. That's very evident down here. And in here lately, we've seen lower than average price ranges day over day. And so again, that could imply that compression could be ahead. So continue to watch this here in the ES. On a very short-term basis, taking a look at the intraday really quickly here, a very short-term basis, you'll notice, again, right at 7:30, prices dropped pretty sharply here this morning. Boom, right when the data came out. Right now we're holding in a narrow range from 2626 up to 2640. Watch this range very closely here. We've got VWAP sloping down, VPOC up above, and then weekly VWAP also above. Typically when you go too far away, you bounce into that zone, but then given their slope, you could see bears come in to defend off that area. All right, let's take a look at the NQ. You see a similar sell-off here in the NQ in the intraday chart. If we look over here at the daily chart, again, very narrow price action here over the last 3 days compared to what we saw in the prior week plus. We continue to trade within this larger impulse range, and that's very important. We can also further compartmentalize this range as well from the recent pivot sell off to that low and create a key range around that zone, so we have something more immediate to play off of as well. We may do that in the trading room today. That's going to be the next zone to watch here. Again, we perhaps aren't done testing these lows. At some point we may come down here, grab it again, and again it could be another fade opportunity back up, just like the first opportunity was. So right now I'm watching for signs of how this is going to play off these recent lows. If there's a further rejection of yesterday's low, we could be continuing to trade within this range towards 66.53. All right, here's a look at crude oil. Crude oil with a major continuation downward. Remember, after this thing gave up 63 and 62.5, the expectation was that we would come back down to 58.75 and as low as 58s. And we got right into those 58s, getting as low as 58.07. Prices pulled back, failed new high a couple of days ago, and now we're back down. So again, price is really struggling around this 58.75 because the only thing standing between 58.75 and 55 right now is this recent lows. So basically, that's the next zone down if price cannot hold 58s overall. Usually what you would see in this scenario is you would see a bounce back up towards 62.5, 63, and then perhaps some trading in this zone. You can see how narrow this LVN is here between these two major price distributions. There could be a bounce that comes and a move. So for the most part, I'm looking for 58s to continue to hold. Perhaps price would drop below it, but any rejection there could lead to a great little move back towards 62s as a high quality target. All right, let's take a look here at gold futures. Looking at gold, gold now has been back and forth. It's been, rather bullish overall. The recent push downward looked like it may get one more round of weakness, but again, bulls were able to overcome that 1325 level once bears tried to reject it. And over here you still see higher highs day over day still as this thing continues higher. And so right now I think the best case scenario is just to watch for the edges out here. We have this distribution that's playing out between 1306 and 1362, and we could see further development of this range. Right now we're right at the center near the HVN. It just doesn't really offer too much value, so got to be holding off on this one for now until something better develops. Let's take a look at XBT. Here's a look at XBT. This one, that's Bitcoin. Again, we've been talking about the bearish nature of this market and how 6,700 was a high quality target. But once we saw this rejection, we knew that there could be a bounce opportunity back toward 10K. At the very least 9,500, but likely toward 10K. And that's a pretty solid move. I mean, we bounced off of 5880. By the time we closed the day, we were back toward about 6,800 or so. So it was a really solid move to this level just in and of itself, even though it's very, very quiet here. But the idea here is to watch this LVN because any push into this zone, if rejected, could provide another round of weakness, a big round of weakness that could lead us to the next target down, which would be 2100. That would be a significant move if it were to play out that way. But again, this 9500 level, especially 10K, is going to be very important. That's the key market structure level. Can price find acceptance above it? If so, perhaps we got to bounce as high as 12K coming. If price can reestablish above 9,500, then 12K might be around the corner. Otherwise, any rejection of this zone could be rather bearish. All right, that's it for now. Let's see how this plays out heading into the rest of the session. Good luck and trade well.